So one of the things that are really exciting for me about the financial planning profession, not just only in South Africa, but globally, is its ever evolving nature. It's never just staying the same. It's forever growing. It's forever trying to reinvent itself and get better. And I'm really excited this morning to be chatting to Wessel Oosthuizen about his views on how things have changed over the years and a whole host of other things this morning. So we are going to get into also maybe what the future holds. I mean, we don't know, but we can absolutely speculate and dream and do all of those good things. And we're also going to be looking at the psychology of financial planning as well in a little bit more detail and some other things. So you're really, really excited for today's episode. And with that, let's get the show on the road and let's see what we have in store for you today. Good morning from a half-built studio. We are sort of slowly but surely getting there. And the plan is that by next week, you will see a brand new look and a brand new studio. So, but what the hell, it's a journey. It's not the destination, it's the journey. So warm welcome this morning. If you're watching on demand, thank you very much. If you made it this far into the session, we really appreciate it. So yeah, looking forward to an exciting episode today. Today we have the amazing, I don't have all the descriptive adjectives and all that kind of stuff to describe what I think about Wessel, but Wessel is definitely, one of those people that I thoroughly enjoy talking to and talking with. And so excited that he agreed to be on the show today. The last time he was on was way back in season 1. So when we were still trying to figure out how lighting works and all that kind of stuff. So really happy to have Wessel back. And today we're going to talk about all sorts of things around the financial planning profession, because this is I don't know how to put this, right? It's just an amazing, amazing job to do. And I'm pretty sure that many of you will agree. And I want to sort of invite you to share in the comments or in the chat, what are your thoughts about the financial planning profession and what is it that you enjoy most about it at the moment? So please do that. And so excited for today. But obviously today, for a change, we have back Lelani Besaidenout. Lelani is going to give us all the latest and greatest things as far as current affairs are concerned and everything that you and I need to know about. Then we have Kim Potgieter, and Kim is going to be talking about the happiness curve, an amazing segment. So stick around for that one. And then we have Kobus Klein back with the advisor's path. And today he's talking about navigating the evolution of financial planning. So looking forward to that. And I've got just one announcement this morning. And then I'm going to get into my conversation with Wessel. So really excited for this morning. Thank you very much. I do want to ask that we gained loads of subscribers last week. So thank you very much if you're a new subscriber. For those of you that have been a subscriber for a very long time, thank you very, 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 very much. We are forever growing slowly but surely. So thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, I want to invite you to please consider doing so. If you're not sure, watch the entire episode and then do it at the end, because I'm pretty sure you're going to say, well, I've got to see more of this kind of stuff. So thank you very much. You can also like this video and share it with others. Alrighty, so let's get going this morning. Kobus, good morning. I hope it's going well down in Gordons Bay this morning. The weather is quite interesting where we are. Gloria, good morning. Vulidzani, nice to see you. We've got Neil Phillips in the house. Good morning. I've got a new screen, so it's a little bit different. It's a massive, massive screen, so I'm getting used to where I need to look. This is quite interesting. Anyway, so good morning. We've got Stephen Fish. Good morning, Stephen. Nice to see you. David Kopp, good morning, my friend. How are you doing? Ferdi, good morning. Nice to see you as well. We've got Joseph van Tonder. Goeiemorgen, Joseph. We've got Heloise. Nice to see you, Heloise. Michelle. Feels like it's been a while, Michelle. I haven't seen you recently, so good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. Barry van Niekerk is here. Good morning. Johan Basson. Goeiemorgen. We've got Liana. Good morning, Liana. We've got Alfred in the house. Good morning, good morning. Hope you're doing well. We've got Frank. Good morning, Frank. Nice to see you. Renee, good morning. Nice to see you. Gary Wilson. We've got Arun. There's a lot of people here from the Western Cape at the moment. So good morning, good morning. Nkosana, good morning. Thank you very much. Top of the morning, absolutely. We've got Gary Nel. Goeiemorgen, Gary. Hoop het gaan goed daar. Johan, nice to see you as well. Thank you very much for saying hi. We've got Chanel. Good morning. Hope you are doing well, Chanel. We've got Des in the house. Desi, how's it doing? We've got Mark Bullock. Mark, it's been ages. How are you doing? We've got Vivian. Good morning, Vivian. Nice to see you again. I saw you recently, so good morning. And Pierre Venter. Good morning, Pierre. Nice to see you. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, let's get the show on the road. Lelani, I hope you have some good news this morning and some exciting news and just a dash of, like you put a little bit of pepper on the food. Maybe just a little bit of not such great news, just for interest's sake. But anyway, so let's see what Lelani's got for us and what humor she's bringing to today's segment. Here we go.
Good morning, Francha. And yes, indeed, I do have some good news, but unfortunately some bad news as well. But let's kick off by wishing everybody online a happy International Women's Day. So today, if you have not said to the women in your life, I appreciate you and I love you, it's time to do that. Quickly send a WhatsApp and say, I love you and I appreciate you. All right, let's kick off into the news straight away, Francois and team. If we quickly look at the Financial Sector Conduct Authority, I normally kick off with them. So the Commissioner of the Financial Sector Conduct Authority, Unati Kamlana, and the Triple B Commissioner signed an MOU in collaboration on promoting transformation in the financial sector and advancing the South African economy. You would have seen, if you look at their website as well, there's a beautiful picture where they shake each other's hand and say, well done, we've got this MOU in place. I know the Triple B Commissioner and the FECA Commissioner has been working on this for some time. And then this partnership aims at addressing gaps in data collection. We've seen from Unati's report that they did say there's a bit of a problem with data collection. So it aims at addressing the gaps of data collection and improving compliance with Triple B Act and enhancing economic empowerment and transparency. The MOU furthermore emphasizes the importance of compliance with the Triple B Act and aims to enhance transparency and accountability in the financial services sector. So that's news from Unati Kamlana's side. Now, if you look at JP Markets, now I recall last year sometime there was a warning that came out from the FECA side against JP Markets. But what is new at this point in time? Well, the Financial Sector Conduct Authority has just fined them with about 100,000 rand for contravening the financial sector laws by conducting unauthorized over-the-counter derivative business as an ODP provider. Now, the High Court said they placed them under liquidation. The matter went to the Supreme Court of Appeal. So the Supreme Court of Appeal actually overturned the liquidation order, but they confirmed that JP Markets activities did indeed fall within the definition of an over-the-counter derivative and that they were not authorized to conduct business in that field. Now, let's quickly talk about deepfake. Now, let's quickly give a definition for what that is before we come up with our own definitions. It's about Elon Musk and the deepfake case. So that is surfaced again in the news. So for starter, let's just make sure what deepfake I'm talking about here. Now, the deepfake, which is one word, refers to the technique that uses artificial intelligence, AI, to create or manipulate audio visual content specifically, often involving replacing somebody's face or voice with that of another person. Now, deepfake technology can be used to make it appear as though somebody is saying or doing something that they actually did not do or say. Now, this has raised massive concerns about its potential misuse, such as creating fake news, misinformation, or fraudulent schemes. So I'm going to focus a little bit on the latter, and it has indeed happened in South Africa, more specifically Cape Town. So here's the deepfake case in South Africa, and I'm sure you've heard about it before. But Banksco, an online brokerage, is compensating investors at this point in time who are misled, believing in what was placed on their website. And on its website was an investment platform created by Elon Musk, apparently. Now, this is where the deepfake comes in. Now, the company is evaluating payouts on a case-by-case basis for investors who can demonstrate the financial impact. Clients can claim their money loss after they invested on the deepfake videos of Elon Musk and other business leaders promoting the platform. One of the ads actually features Musk promoting an automated investment platform for only 4,700 Rand. Now, Banksco denies the link to the fake Elon Musk ads, but unfortunately, these fake news or these deep fake videos by Elon Musk, and I looked at it, it actually looks so real. But you have to ask yourself, what will somebody like Elon Musk actually make a video like that? And it's actually quite scary. If you look at the faces and the voices that they can put, the layer that they can put over each, and you would actually believe that that is the person. So the question, Francia, is this really me talking today? But anyway, so the crux of this matter is that Bronco's response highlights the challenges that we are facing of combating financial schemes linked to deepfake technology. And this case furthermore highlights the needs for increased consumer awareness and consumer education and regulation, more specifically globally, to protect investors from fraudulent schemes utilizing deepfake videos. Then scooting to the FBI quickly, a massive thank you to everybody who attended the in-person annual refresher, and Wessel with you online, fantastic speaker. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to you and the rest of our speakers. If you've missed it, we do have an online session on the 27th of March. And if you say, yeah, but it's school holidays, don't stress, you can still register and listen to the annual refresher on your own time. The PCE, Professional Competency Examination, registrations for April is open, and we are already sitting on a whopping 250 students. So it keeps on increasing. The registrations is open for another few weeks. Francia, with that, I'm going to love you and leave you, but I'll still listen to the show in the car. Blessings to everybody online. Ciao.
Fantastic. Let me just press the right buttons. Thank you very much, Lelani. Great stuff. And there's also Leon Manas, and there's all these things going around. My own dad asked me about this Elon Musk investment. It's crazy how real these things sound. Though, as much as we can use things for good, others say, well, how can we use it against humanity? And they absolutely do. Very, very interesting. So next up, we have Kim Potgieter with her segment on well-being and money. And today, Kim is talking about the happiness curve.
Welcome to my segment on the Propulsion show. Today, I found your graph, not the normal kind of graph that you potentially have been showing your clients, but I've been doing my road shows around the country, obviously updating clients on their investments and updating clients on the economic situation in the world. And I found this graph just to help clients to understand which part they can control and which part they can't. At the moment, with the elections coming, there's a whole lot of noise out there. And I'm finding people, not only our clients, potentially even ourselves, are hearing a whole lot of noise that is affecting our whole attitudes and affecting the way we're interacting with each other, because we're feeling all of this kind of stress. And my message always, as part of wellness, think about which part you can control and which part you can't control. Because when we waste all of this time on all the areas we can't control, speaking about it, that's what the sum of our life becomes. It becomes us feeling out of control and the anxiety taking over. So not only was I thinking about the clients, but I've also been doing a whole lot of research for myself. For those of you who know me and read some of my blogs, you'll know that I'm in the empty nest transition of my life. I have 3 children, and my daughter, who is now 18, has gone off to Stellenbosch University to do engineering, and as excited as I am for her, there's a part of me that is going, oh my gosh, I'm going through this new transition in my life. And what happens to me when I go through these transitions? I start looking to understand them and why I'm feeling the way I am, and look for help to potentially feel a little bit better. So I started reading, and I was reading this book called The Happiness Curve. And in this book called The Happiness Curve, Life Gets Better After 50 by Jonathan Rauch, I came across this graph, and I think it's a great graph given the fact that I'm over 50. It's called the happiness curve. And what this concept is that I thought I'd share with you, and potentially you can share it with your clients because I think it's really quite helpful, is your life goes through different cycles. When we're in our 20s and 30s, we've got an attitude of our whole lives are in front of us, and we are invincible. We can absolutely do anything. We come into our 40s, and often in our 40s, there's a whole lot of responsibilities that we need to be doing, and there's a whole lot of commitments, and just think about where all of our money goes in our 40s. It's definitely going to our families. Then we start coming through to 50, and this is where the happiness curve kicks in. And what it's saying is from the age of 50 upwards, we actually get happier. Now, I don't know about you, but I've met quite a lot of grumpy people as we get older. But what the curve says, and the part that we can all control, which is the part that's the exciting part, is it's all about our attitude. Now, the reason the research shows that we get happier after the age of 50 is because we start looking at life and appreciating things. So we just have to think about it. We've got maybe limited time, and now all of a sudden the smallest things that we do start counting more. We start looking at things, we start valuing things a lot more, we start appreciating things a lot more. And I think for me, this is really important. Whatever age, let's not even go with the happiness curve, whatever age, it's to look at different parts of your life and how do we have gratitude for it. I've shared with you how I love keeping a gratitude diary through my blogs. And that is something that I did the whole course of last year, keeping that gratitude diary, which was really invaluable to me. Also, it's you helping other people. We get our most satisfaction when we're out there doing something for somebody else. So think about how you can go out there and help somebody else. And then finally, on this happiness curve, and to get it to point up, it's our relationships. It's appreciating our relationships. It's putting more time and effort into our relationships, because as people, we need to connect and we need to be with each other. So my wish for you through this tumultuous period of the elections and what might be going on is to think about your own curve of your life and your happiness, and get your attitude adjusted if you need to, so that you can instead be looking for gratitude, helping others, and working on your relationship. I wish you a good weekend, and thank you very much for joining us on the show.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Kim. Such an insightful segment. I'm close to 50, so you make me can't wait to get there. But anyway, so next up we have Kobus Klein, and Kobus this morning is talking about navigating the evolution of financial planning.
Good morning, everyone. As always, it's a privilege to be here with you on Propulsion Live, and this morning from Cape Town to share insights into a journey that many of us are part of, the advisor path. We stand at a unique crossroads in the financial planning profession, where the past, the present, and the future converges. Our role as financial professionals is evolving more rapidly than ever before, driven by technology advancements, changing client expectations, and a global borderless financial landscape. Let us embark on this exploration by first reflecting on our roots. The traditional role of a financial advisor was predominantly transactional, with a focus on selling products and reacting to market conditions. However, as we as new generation advisors adventure into the 21st century, a significant shift began. Advisors transitioned from being salespeople to advisors, where our primary role are evolving into understanding the holistic financial health of our clients, including everything from investment management to estate planning, tax strategies, and beyond. We are transitioning from a transactional approach to a transformative process. This shift is not just about changing services, it's about changing mindsets, both ours and our clients. Technology is at the heart of this evolution. Digital platforms, robo-advisors, and artificial intelligence have entered our domain, challenging us to redefine our value proposition. But here is the thing. Technology is not our competitor. It's our partner. It empowers us to offer personalized, efficient, and accessible financial advice. By leveraging these tools, we can spend more time doing what we do best, understanding our clients' unique stories, aspirations, and fears. Looking ahead, the future of financial planning is both exciting and daunting. We are moving towards a future where financial advice is not just about wealth accumulation, but about creating a life well lived. Clients are increasingly seeking advisors who can guide them through life's complexities, not just their financial complexities. This means our role is expanding to include being a life coach, a trusted advisor, a psychologist, and sometimes even a friend and shoulder to cry on or ear to listen to. Sustainability and ethical investing are other areas where we see significant shifts. The current and next generations of clients want to know that their investments are making a positive impact on the world and its environment. This reflects a broader trend in society towards sustainability and social responsibility. And it is our duty to navigate these waters, aligning our clients' portfolios with their values. To thrive in our ever-evolving profession, we need to be lifelong learners. We must stay curious, adaptable, and open to change. Networking with peers, engaging in continuous education, and staying abreast of technology and advancements are crucial. The path of an advisor is not static. It's a journey of constant evolution. The future of financial planning is bright, but it requires us to be more than just advisors. We must be educators, innovators, and most importantly, compassionate listeners. Our ability to adapt to change, leverage technology, and remain deeply connected to the human aspects of financial planning will define our success. As we continue on the advisor path, let's embrace the challenges and opportunities that come our way, for they are not just shaping our profession, they are shaping our ability to make a meaningful difference in the lives of those we serve. Thank you for allowing me to share these thoughts with you this morning. Together, let's look forward to a future where our profession continues to evolve, enriching not only our clients' financial well-being, but their overall life journey, while doing the same for us. Over to you, Francois.
Thank you very much, Kobus. Really appreciate that. Doing that all the way from Cape Town while working from anywhere. Really appreciate it. And next up, just a quick announcement. So not plenty of things this morning, just one. Alrighty, so yes, the Propulsion Tech event is taking place on the 9th, the 11th, and the 16th of April. And it's really an incredible event that we've put together. If you want to learn about technology and you want to see what technology is available, you want to have conversations around your specific situation directly with all of the providers that's going to be there. There's 18 of them, quite a bit. Then you'll be able to do that, and it's not 3 full days. Don't stress. You're not going to be out of work for 3 days in April after all the public holidays in March. You are going to have 3 mornings that you can spend with us live, and you'll also have access to the recordings until the end of April. So there's absolutely, what an opportunity. It's just not because I'm putting on the event, but because it is such a phenomenal opportunity. It doesn't really help just knowing what is available. That's a very important piece of the puzzle. But you also need to know what to look for, where to start. How do you decide? How do you choose? What are the things you need to keep in mind when you are going to implement all of this? What is the impact going to be? And we'll touch, hopefully, this morning. When I said to Wessel, I want to touch a little bit on technology this morning, he was like, really? But I'm looking forward to touching a little bit on technology this morning as well. But there's definitely going to be a significant impact, and there's certain things that we need to be aware of and look out for. So all of this is going to be discussed. We're going to look at how do you stay compliant in a rapidly evolving landscape, specifically from a tech point of view as well. How do you stay compliant? We've got people like Lelani on the panel. We've got Anton Swanepoel. We've got Shemaine van Wyk, and Willitsani is going to be the phenomenal facilitator for that. So really excited about all of the content that we bring to you during those 3 days. In between the demos that you're going to see live and just 20 minutes at a time. So it's not going to be overwhelming. 20 minutes at a time, you're going to see what's available, what you can do with it, and you can have conversations from that point onwards. So if you haven't yet, do go and get your ticket. You can just hop on over to propulsion.co.za/tech, and you can get all the information there. There's a link to the agenda. There's a link to buy your ticket. If you want to buy tickets for your team, you can do that all online. So you'll just say how many tickets you want. You choose the way you want to pay, whether it's EFT or by card or whatever you want to do. You have all the options available to you. So we make it as easy as possible. And we're going to have a phenomenal 3 mornings together in April. So do head on over. The link is also down in the description if you didn't catch it. So it is down in the description. Righty, so that's my announcement for today. So I won a couple of minutes so that I can talk more to Wessel. So really excited for that. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do consider subscribing. It's really helps us a lot and helps us to get the word out and obviously to grow the channel slowly but surely. So we really appreciate that. At the very least, if you find value, please hit that like button. You can kill the button, you can press the button, you can boop the button, whatever you want to do, but give us a like if you find value, and it helps us get the word out. Anyway, so without any further ado, Wessel, I hope you're ready, because I'm ready. I'm looking forward to a great discussion. Yes, I almost started again with good morning, good morning. It felt like the start of the show. This is the main segment. So Wessel Oosthuizen, a massively warm welcome back to the show 4 seasons later.
Yeah, thank you, Francois. What a privilege, and welcome to the Cape. I think next time we should do a coffee session somewhere here in the Cape, but thank you for inviting me. I'm always looking forward to having discussions with you and with the community out there, listening to us.
Yeah, there's one thing, Wessel, I think that makes you unique in many senses, and that's the fact that, you're very wise. You've seen things, you've experienced things, you never stop learning, and this is what makes it so great to have a conversation. A lot of the things that we've done over the years in Propulsion, even before it was called Propulsion, was because of conversations that you and I had. So obviously, I have huge amounts of respect, and I see a lot of value in this. So let's get into the conversation. Really excited to be talking about this. Just briefly, what are we going to be talking about? So we're going to talk a little bit about the evolution of financial planning, because there's been an incredible evolution. Wessel sent me a picture last night. I wish I could show it, but it was a picture from days gone by that somebody just happened to send to him about, when they were starting to push, or they say starting to, but they were pushing financial planning and all of those things. It's quite an interesting thing. And he said to me, like, yes, things have evolved quite a bit, which is amazing. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about sort of how does the psychology of financial planning intermingle into everything, because there's a big focus on that at the moment. And then also, if we think about one of the things that I definitely want to talk to Wessel about this morning, because he's got direct experience and personal experience around this, is how do we work with clients when they contract something like dementia, for example. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then, I'm going to throw in something about tech, Wessel, and then we're also going to talk about the future. We're going to speculate a little bit. So if you're happy, I'm happy. And let's start off, Wessel, with you've been around since the early days, if not from day one, when it comes to financial planning. I'm quite keen to sort of just hear, how's things evolved since then? And I think more importantly, how did financial planning start in South Africa?
Wow, Francois, that takes me back quite a number of years. But just before we start, when you started the show and you talk about the amazing Wessel, it almost felt like I'm in a circus, because I always said when I'm a boy from the farm, and when they visited the farm and they asked, "Hi, little boy, who are you?" And I always said, Wessel from Dorst. Now, Dorst was the name of our farm, and that's a Dutch word for thirsty. So I'm still just Wessel from Dorst. But thank you, Anton. Yeah, it takes me quite a while back, and let me start with a story. And I think sometimes when we talk about evolving our financial planning, evolving is not something sudden, something big. Evolving is gradually, it's over time, it's over decades even. Just to start, before I go into some of the history, I read an article this week published in, I think it was by CityWire, about how advisors and CFP professionals, some of their views on how we evolving as a profession in South Africa. And what I've picked up, some say it's very slow, some say not a lot is happening. And I think our friend Kobus was also one of them, and he's always positive about that. But then I realized that what we're missing is the shoulders of giants in the past that we're standing up and where we are as a profession. So I just got involved with financial planning in the late 90s, and 98 thereabout, Francois, it was still known as ILPA before the Financial Planning Institute of Southern Africa. And it was so interesting for me the other day to listen to the story, how the then CEO of what we know now as FBI, how he went with, I think it was Peter Nieuwoud, and they included Andrew Bradley in the discussions because of his travels overseas and his knowledge about the United States and Australia and so on. And they realized at that stage, they need to move away from ILPA. Those days it was known as ILPA. And not because ILPA was the way or not the way to go, but because they wanted to professionalize it. So they traveled to the United States, Francois, in 98, and they wanted FBI to become involved with the global community. And what was so interesting for me is when they returned and they had to almost sell this thing called financial planning, and we're talking now 97, 98, to the community, to the ILPA community. I think it was the Insurance, Life and Pensions Association called. It seems like a lot of people were upset. What is this thing called holistic financial planning and a profession and so on? Yeah, so we tend to forget about those days and those people that became before us. But Francois, the the one thing that almost the golden thread that I've picked up up till now is that knowledge is the founding principle. That's number one. And number two is a code of ethics and so on. And when this started with in 2001 with formal education and having a postgraduate diploma, I think that's where all started in South Africa, and where people can be, educated and also understand. And I think everything to evolve, you need to start with knowledge. And I so like, when I became involved internationally, I think it was about 2004-05, with the Financial Planning Standards Board. I mean, we're talking here about 18 years ago. There was this, it was amazing to me, this whole concept of certified financial planners and about financial planning, but there were not even, or was not even a proper definition, Francois, for what is financial planning. I recall in 2006, I sat with the Standards Committee and other committees where we developed standards and what is this thing called financial planning all about. And in later 2010, 11 and 12, where we sat and we struggled with the concept. What is the body of knowledge? You can't become a profession if you don't have a body of knowledge. And we had numerous international meetings. I recall one in Dubai where we had, and I chaired that meeting, where we had over 20 plus people that over the world, that we struggled with this concept. What is the body of knowledge, Francois? And to think back, it's almost, if I may compare it to the smartphone, 2006, I think when Apple came out with the first smartphone. It's just the other day, it's almost when we really started to develop internationally the concept of financial planning. And there were major jumps and other providers that came on board developing the cell phone. But nowadays, it's a better camera. It's maybe the body that needs to change, but it's the apps that they add and so on. And that's similar to financial planning and our profession. And I think that's what a lot of people miss, is we've got a good structure. We've got a code of ethics. We know what financial planning is. And it's now about, and I love what they brought in, and when we worked on the new standards, and I think actually Esther Venter from South Africa brought the concept in, and that was a concept that they introduced in Harvard when they researched business schools, about knowing, doing, and being, where it's not about the knowledge, but also the ability to use the knowledge. And I'm very excited because introduced last year, March, in the standards, something called psychology of financial planning. So that's why I think when I read that article, one is a little bit disappointed, because I think they're right. There's small little changes. It seems like the world of financial planning is not massively evolving over a short period of time, but it's because the foundations are so solid at this stage.
Yeah, I really love that, Wessel. And the one thing that I did not realize was just how young the profession is. I thought it was much older, So it's quite interesting to sort of learn that from you and to say, well, just as you were talking, I'm just thinking about that's the other day. It's not even, it's still a teenager sort of going through the motions. And it excites me at the same time because there's so much that can still come. And as you say, because the foundations were done correct, it might feel slower. It's like my iPhone. It's like when the 15 and the 13 and the 12 and the 11, they all look exactly the same. It doesn't even feel like you have a new iPhone, apart from it's a little bit faster and it's a little bit better pictures and stuff like that, but still it's the evolution. And it's those little changes that compound over time as well, and the other thing is also, it's sometimes when we sit and we just view what's happening versus we're actively involved in shaping the profession. There's also a massive difference between that, playing the game in that sense and sort of being on the stands and seeing like, are things getting better? Are they not getting better as well? And for me, one must always think about those as well. Like, how much are we contributing as an individual to the profession, not just from doing the work, but from actively brainstorming these things and participating in these kinds of sort of brainstorming sessions and debates.
And sorry to jump in there, Francois, and that's where I so agree with you. It's easy to sit and go with the flow of the profession, but I think especially the younger generation, there's so much they can contribute to our growing profession. Like we said, it's just over 20 years in South Africa. Oh yes, it started in the early 70s in America with about 40 odd people, but even internationally, it's 50 years or so old. So I think our profession will actually really kick on and evolve when some of the next generation comes through and add to this lovely profession of ours. Sorry to jump in there, but
I absolutely love that. And it just, now that you say that, it means that we're very close to where the happiness curves kicks in, as Kim explained this morning. So things are only looking up, So really excited for that, Wessel. I'm really keen to sort of maybe just were there like one or two or three, like or however many, but very specific events that you can recall maybe in this journey up to where we are today, that really stood out for you, that you thought like, whoa, this is kicking things up a gear. This is kicking things, specifically from a South African point of view.
Yeah, I think that the three gentlemen, Ben Rousseau, Andrew Bradley, and Peter Nieuwoud, and obviously there was others involved as well. I think Louis, that's currently the CEO of FISA, he was also, I think he traveled to Australia and so on. And I think that's the major breakthrough in South Africa, when they had to go to the community and share with them, that we're going now a financial planning route. There was even a gentleman, Mr. Gates, that traveled to the conferences in America, and he brought back what we currently know as CPD. It was not a well-known thing, continuous professional development. But Francois, I think what really kicked our profession off, and I already mentioned that, is starting with a official program recognized by SAQA. I really do think and then developing the body of knowledge. That's in any profession, that helps the profession to evolve. And to share maybe a story with you, 2004-05, 3-4 years into this postgraduate diploma, I was then involved with the University of Free State. And I recall in our examinations where we tried to assess this thing, and remember, this was now the early days, that we were still, or people were still much on the product side and selling. And we asked time value of money questions, and people struggled with that. And I realized, but we need to bring into the curriculum how you calculate so that people understand. And it sounds so basic nowadays, and what I also another story that I would like to share is that I was invited 2006, I think, to LA in America to attend as a panel member. And just before that, I've listened to another conversation. It was the universities in in America. There were already then over 30, I think, universities in America that teach financial planning. And the one person talked about behavioral finance. So that's about 18 years ago now. And I thought, what is behavioral finance? It's the first time I've ever heard about that. And the more I've listened, I realized that we need to include it in our curriculum. And those days, luckily, I was in a position to make those decisions. And the next year, behavioral finance was included. And so it's again education, and it's again some, like CPD, some things that we see, some things that we experience. And I think the current major thing that's introduced is the psychology of financial planning. But I would like to warn, I think some people, we must remember there are people that's making a living out of that, and people that's writing books about that. We're not therapists, Francois. We need to use the knowledge of psychology of financial planning. understand our clients, understand the conflict of money in our client's life, and so forth. So I will say those things are the things, and I think the psychology and even coaching, it's not to become coaches. It's still to remain who we are, true to our core as financial planners. I've last year taken a coaching course at UCT, because I realized when I recorded myself is I'm talking about 70% of the time and the clients 30%. It's not the way to do financial planning. We need to listen and to our clients, Francois. So what excites me is these little changes, and the psychology of money. What I said is that we're always good with working with the client's money. And there were some of us that's very good at looking at the client's life and stress factors in their life and conflict of money between the spouses and so on. But what this includes now is also the attitudes, the beliefs, the behaviors of clients. And if we take that into account, it changes the world. You know what? In my research for the FBI refresher and looking at things, I also thought that, psychology of financial planning is not an American thing. It's not a European thing. It's not an Australian thing. We must find out what that means for us in South Africa, for the profession in South Africa. And then I started to go through surveys and read up on there's an excellent survey that was done by the FSCA on financial literacy. And things that stood out from that, Francois, was things like we're quite a materialistic nation. And, also the differences between married people and unmarried people, the differences between our provinces. It was just amazing. And I realized we must be careful to read through psychology of financial planning in these notes and use that generalized terms on South Africa. You must still know your client, and you must realize that clients may differ, and the culture, the environments they come from may differ. Yeah, I'm talking now too much, Francois, but yeah, I'm excited, and I'm not a psychologist even.
Oh, I love it, Wessel. So let's talk about the psychology of financial planning, because it's now been introduced and obviously it's becoming part of the curriculum and all of those good things. There's been new books written about it. There were things all over the place about it. We've got transitionists and we've got all sorts of different aspects that's looking at various aspects of this or that incorporates various aspects of this. But I'm quite keen just to sort of maybe hear some about, you've already shared a couple of ideas, but are there other things around the psychology of financial? Because I think you mentioned a very important thing just now, is that, get the knowledge, but we've got to look at it through a South African filter, and we've got to know, sort of what are the nuances that's at play in South Africa specifically. So it's not as simple as, and please I say this with the greatest respect, just reading the book, doing the course, and then happiness, there you go. There's a lot of things that needs to go into that and to think about how do we apply it in South Africa. But I'm keen to hear just, do you have what are some other aspects that maybe you feel is really important when it comes to psychology or financial planning? And also together with that, whilst you're talking, and sort of sharing that, just how do we get started in that direction to sort of upskill ourselves on that?
Let's start with the last point. There's two of our financial planners, associate financial planners, youngsters at our firm that have attended the FBI Psychology of Financial Planning course. And we've got every Monday a financial planning forum, and where we can share things. And every one of our financial planners or paraplanners does get an opportunity to present something. And Lana and Duan is now once a month, approximately, they will present to us what they've learned there. And I was amazed, the tools that you get, and I loved the last one that Lana did with us, is that you draw an egg on a page, and that you fill in your historical money memories in that, good or bad, and that opens up a discussion. It makes your client think and so on. But I think we must be careful. So I will say you need to start with doing some sort of a course that you just get your mind around it, and the knowledge. But I think psychology of financial planning it's much simpler, and I do think that most of us does have the principles. And let me explain to you. When Kim talked about the happiness curve, and she talked about just over 50, and we've seen the curve going up, it made me think that I'm now, September I will be 56, and I realized that my dad, well, also Wessel, my dad died at just 2 months before his 57th birthday of cancer. And I realized, but I'm about a year from that age. And that is, if you know your client, and they share the story of their father dying of cancer at the early age, and you can explore that with them. Did that change their lives, and how does that affect them? Or let me use, and we will come back later to my mom. And it was amazing when we did the refresher, Francois, where my mom was diagnosed in 2018, for those that don't know, with vascular dementia. She was still in Vryburg, but I realized, she's all alone in Vryburg. Wessel is the only son, and we need, in a way, if she deteriorates, how will I be able to look after her? So it was almost a 2-year phase to get her into Cape Town, and she's now staying with us a room or two away from here. But it's like, when you deal with a client and their mother or their dad's got dementia, or a client that's got the fear of dementia, it's just be a pure human being with empathy, listening to what they're afraid of, listening to what they're scared of. Just to share maybe with you, myself experiencing now, is that we will sit in the evenings and watching Binnenlanders. It's a soapie op kyk net, Francois. Not that I love, but I will do it with my mom, because that interaction, and then we will, after that, watch these Turkish soapies. And you realize, that from one scene to another, that mom is not realizing that it's the same actor also. So you lose. So short-term memory starts to go. So, if you know your clients, if you know their values, their beliefs, the things in their lives, the events in their lives, it makes it easier, Francois. So that's the psychology of financial planning, is just, be caring about that person and listening, and then use your skill as a financial planner to help them, to sort out those lifestyle issues, or so that you can prevent. There's one thing that, talking about the psychology of financial planning, which I was amazed at, and that's maybe the last thing that I would like to share, is last year, the Financial Planning Standards Board did a global study of over 15,000 clients of financial advisors and non-clients. So over 15,000, and it's about 27, I don't think all the countries participated, 1,000 from South Africa. But Francois, what was amazing from the results of that is how we as financial planners, by just doing our job as a financial planner, we create well-being in our client's life, and them feeling better about themselves, feeling better about their money. And I mean, some of the stats, and let me see if I can quickly give you some of the stats here. And for me, that link, that even we're not there to help clients with well-being or focusing on that, it's an amazing outflow of us doing a proper financial planning job, listening to our clients about their history, and keeping in mind their religion, their culture, and so on. I mean, things like quality of life, and I'm just going to share one of two with everybody, is I generally feel active and have plenty of energy. Now, they've assessed people without an advisor, people with another financial planner that's not a CFP professional, and CFP professionals. And 56% said, I generally feel active and have plenty of energy without an advisor or don't have a link to an advisor. 63 with a financial planner that's not a CFP professional said yes. 70% with a CFP professional assisting them said yes. It's a question that's not even related to finance, Francois. And things like my interest and involvement in life give me a sense of meaning and purpose. All these things, I generally feel positive and optimistic about life. All these things, people that had a CFP professional in their lives supporting them, came out much higher in percentage than the other. And the last one that I would like to share, that's on the quality of life, is financial confidence. Let me share the first one with you. I feel I have enough money to last the rest of my retirement that I will be happy with. Again, without an advisor, 75% said yes. With a financial planner, CFP professional, 87% said, I have enough money. Almost like Kim said, gratitude that you sorted. And that's exciting because that's how it's a value that we're adding. And I don't think we sitting here listening to Wessel and Francois' conversation realize this important role that we're playing. But yeah, I think that's enough on the psychology of financial planning.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Wessel. I've got goosebumps. So you'll be happy to hear that we don't have enough time to talk about technology. However, I do want to ask you a question that we actually ask in the Financial Planning Masterclass to all our guests. So the Financial Planning Masterclass is a session that we run in Propulsion. And but the one question we ask everybody is this, and you weren't prepared for this, so I'm throwing this at you, and let's see what you have to say about this. So let's just say you are cleaning out your garage or one of the rooms, and you see this little lamp there in the corner, and it's like, oh, what is this? And as you wipe it off, out comes Lelani Besaidenout, the genie of the financial planning profession. And she says, thank you very much, for getting me out of this stuffy lamp, dear Wessel. And she says, Wessel, to thank you, I'm going to give you 3 wishes. But here's the crux, or here's the catch. That you can only use these wishes for the financial planning profession. So you can't use it for yourself. You can't use it for anybody else, only for the financial planning profession. What would those 3 wishes be?
Francois, and I know we don't have a lot of time. I just want to share with you when I said to my wife, Francois once talked to me about technology and cutting edge technology. She said, but you know quite a lot about it. And I said, what do you mean? She said, when my Woolworths card is too high, you always say, take a scissor and take the card and just do that. So I do use some cutting edge technology, but let's get back to your question. For me, there's 2 or 3 things that stands out. For me, there's always a passion about the next generation. And what I realize is that we're not putting the young people in a position to take over from us, to become the next financial planners, to support them, to give them the structure. We're all so busy. So one of my wishes is let's mentor the youngsters. Let's help them. Let's give them the power to step into the shoes of us with our clients and so on. So that's the one thing. That the second thing is that for me, it's we need to become and need to get the CFP professional numbers up. Why do I say that? If you go and look at people advised by CFP professionals, and I've touched on earlier, people not advised, we play a major role in clients' lives. in helping them in their well-being and so on. But to do that, we need more CFP professionals. We're only 4,500+, just under 5,000 in South Africa, of which 2,500, I think, is practicing. How do we get more people in to support? Why are we so struggling in this country, Francois? When I've gone through surveys and people struggling to retire. Let me share something with you. There's a material value scale, also a survey that were done, where they highlighted 50 of those socially needs that people will like to see. People put cell phones number one, and then the rest is things like electricity, warm clothes, cell phone number one. How do we change this concept of that? You know, people said in that survey, and I would like to end off with that, is that when they assessed in 22, people said that, you know, we aspire to, next year we want 84% of people said we want cell phones. It's essential. The following year, when they assessed that, 98% had cell phones. When they asked the same question about savings, 74% said, next year we want to save. 74%. Next year, only half of that, 37% saved. So we need more people on the ground. We need more financial planners that wants to do it for the client. Putting the client first, helping them, Francois. I think I've only used 2 of my wishes, but there you go. Those are my 2 wishes.
Thank you very much, Wessel. And I love the cutting edge technology. It's absolutely brilliant. Wessel, thank you very much. If you do want to connect with Wessel, I included his LinkedIn link down below in the description. So you can, because I always ask my guests, Wessel, where can people connect with you? And every single one of them says LinkedIn. So I'm just preempting. People can connect with you on LinkedIn. But Wessel, thank you very, very much. Brilliant conversation. I can do this for the whole day. But thank you very much for your time. Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for everything you keep on doing, and for shining the light brightly on this amazing profession. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic. What a show. Thank you very much for being here. Really appreciate it. For all of you that watched live, I'm falling over my words. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Do keep an eye out on our socials and what we will be sharing. This main segment will also be available on the podcast tomorrow. And with that, have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe, be blessed and prosper, and continue. You know that. Continue to raise the bar. Love you lots. Bye-bye.